also here to speak today with my friends about the legalization of marijuana. Sorry, I'm a little nervous, but I'm more concerned about the legalization of hemp. I'm going to start with a little history, American history, that was lost in the history books. If all fossil fuels and their derivatives, as well as trees for paper and construction, were banned in order to save the planet, reverse the greenhouse effects, and stop deforestation, then there is only one known annually renewable resource that is capable of providing the overall majority of the world's paper, textiles, meeting all of the world's transportation, industrial, and home energy needs, simultaneously reducing pollution, rebuilding the soil, and cleaning the atmosphere at the same time. It's cannabis. In 1619, America's first marijuana law was enacted in Jamestown, ordering farmers to grow hemp. Cannabis was legal tender in America from 1631 to 1800. Why? To encourage farmers to grow more. For 200 years, you could pay your taxes with hemp. Between 1763 and 1767, you could be jailed in America for not growing hemp. Benjamin Franklin started America's first paper mill with cannabis, and this allowed us to have the free colonial press without ever having to ask England for money or beg them. I'll give you a few different uses of hemp. Ships, 60 tons of hemp were used on the USS Constitution to get us to America. Textiles and fabrics. It makes the strongest textiles that last over twice as long as cotton does. Fiber and paper. Again, our first newspaper was on hemp, and the first Bible, the first one we have, back to record, was written on hemp. Rope, twine, and cords, canvas for art, paint and varnishes, lighting oil, biomass energy, coal, oil, charcoal, nuclear energy, all fall under biomass. Medicine and foods and oils, and it has the highest protein in any plant. 50% of all chemicals used in Americans' agriculture today is used to grow cotton. Hemp needs no chemicals and has few weeds or insects. Hemp paper lasts 50 to 100 times longer than most preparation of papyrus and was 100 times easier and cheaper to make. Were it not for the marijuana plant, the Continental Army would have frozen to death at Valley Forge. And lastly, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how hemp saved George Bush's life. I know this is the Republican women's meeting, so you guys may like to listen up and hear for this. One more example of the importance of hemp was 5 years after cannabis was outlawed in 1937. It was promptly reintroduced for World War II effort in 1942. If you go to YouTube, you can search Hemp for Victory and see a video that was made by the United States government promoting hemp, and this was maybe 80 years ago. So when the young pilot George Bush bailed out of his burning airplane after the Battle of the Pacific, little did he know, parts of his aircraft engine were lubricated with cannabis hemp seed oil. 100% of his life-saving parachute webbing was made from U.S.-grown cannabis hemp. Virtually all of the rigging and ropes in the ship that pulled him in were made of cannabis hemp. The fire hoses on the ship and those in the schools that he attended were woven from cannabis hemp. And finally, as George Bush stood safely on the deck, his shoes' durable stitching was of cannabis hemp, as it is in all good leather and military shoes today. They still use it. It doesn't make any sense why we haven't legalized to grow hemp. There's nothing wrong with it. It's got less than 0.3% of THC, and that's not even a drug. It's a very strong, very good material. It can rebuild the ozone layers. We can tax it, make money for our schools. There's so many benefits, and it's really immoral not to have it. Thank you.
Next speaker.